Alrighty then. So last time we had the spooky situation happen in the bathroom, and the ghost was disappointed because yet again she was thwarted. She was unable to kill us. However, all those good vibes disappear into thin air when I run headfirst into Luke. There's really something in this man. Regardless of how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply blasts through every good impression people have of him, without care or thought. He doesn't even need to open his mouth, his mere presence does it. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy only a mother can love.
You're still here?
Obviously. Who do you think's standing in front of you?
So smug.
An ass.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You've done better than that. Losing your touch?
You're asking for trouble, sir.
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave. What do you want?
Belatedly, I notice his hand, partly raised, almost poised for a knock. At a slight lift of an eyebrow, he quickly drops it to his side and turns to Kylie. She's standing a few steps away from him, holding her hands behind her back and towing at something on the floor with the tip of her shoe. Pretending to be innocent when clearly you're in cahoots with the ghost. Then he proceeds to make vague gestures at me and the child. He resembles a fish flopping for air with the way he's moving his arms, though I think he's trying to urge her to speak up.
Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell her something.
You do it, Teal.
Okay.
This wasn't my idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day. And this morning.
Luke exhales, rolling his eyes at the ceiling and maybe praying for the universe to grant him more patience. He knows a losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual child. Nothing better than being served a dose of his own medicine, huh? Once his frustration has been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. I do my best to stare the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it's even out of his lips.
You, come with us.
Oh, rude.
What makes you think I will?
Because little Rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault. I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her.
This feels like kidnapping. Yes, I'm going to use this somewhat cute child to coerce you into coming with us. I'm not comfortable. Rebecca, don't do it. It's not worth it. You already saw the demon side of the child, and you already know this guy's a jerk. It's not worth it.
So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you.
You're asking for a favor, and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just...
Oh, there he goes, looking flustered again.
Just say yes.
A pause follows, almost too dramatic. Afterwards, his face twists into something between a grimace and a smile. As it happens, he appears like he's in a lot of physical pain. You'd think the man is getting an aneurysm by simply being polite.
Please?
Oh, I love this voice actor. He's so great. This character, it's like you hate him because he's a total a-hole. But then he's also really funny sometimes. It's like, dang it, why do you have to be likable sometimes? I hate that.
Tia said it'll be his treat.
Yes, bribe me with food. Now that's more like it.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin. I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
Yes, like she's your new pet, clearly.
I promise I'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, alright, but just one meal and make it the cheapest.
You're rich. What are you talking about? He and Ashton will get along famously in that department. On a different front, the offer of free dinner does sound enticing, however half-heartedly given it is. Mostly because Kylie has wisely put on her puppy eyes, and by the second I find all my choices slipping away from me.
See, Miss Pink? It'll be fun! You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Oh, well,
My mobile buzzes from my pocket, cutting me mid-sentence, and for a second I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing the gadget out, I wave a hand at him and excuse myself. A disgruntled expression is on Luke's face before I turn away. I'd be lying if I say it didn't amuse me. He's as eager to be done with this as I am, but what can I do? Checking, a message from Ashton shows up. Oh. Hey Becca, I'll be around Salem Well this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place after. See ya. Just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. From the way it's phrased, it sounds to be the latter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that boundary. Not that Isabella's ever going to let him leave the building unscathed, if he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man. I cringe to imagine what she'll do to him. Oh my. Sighing, I slipped the gadget back to my pocket. But looking up to see Luke's utter impatience on his face, I now face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting, and knowing the kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. I feel like a choice is coming up, and that's tough because I really wanted Sign to be able to help me make these decisions, you know? Let me see. Let me send her a message. Okay. So, hopefully, Sign will be able to join us soon. But in the meantime... Oh! Oh, she just said she's back. Right when I just messaged her. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Let's have Sign join us.
full. Also,
Hi.
hi.
Hi. How was dinner?
It was good.
Good, good. We were missing you.
Aw. Sorry for the wait.
No problem. I was just looking through some stuff in the game with Twin. Twin says hello.
Hi, Twin.
All right, but now that you're here, we can proceed, and I will share the screen. You have not missed much. We were just talking to Luke and Kylie.
Okay. Oh.
All right. And I think we're going to have a choice in a minute, so perfect timing so that you can help me make the choice.
Oh boy.
So basically, Kylie is forcing Luke to ask us to join them for dinner. And we also got a text from Ash saying that he'll be in the area. He might be stopping by later. So I feel like the choice is probably going to be, should I join them for dinner or not?
Maybe.
Maybe. I feel like something interesting might happen if we join. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking on joining the dinner.
Okay. All to please his godchild. His denials aside, it's easy to tell he's really fond of Kylie from his actions alone. I kinda hate to ruin that.
Well, Daisy, we're waiting here.
On the other hand, there's Ash. His message doesn't exactly imply he's going to wait, or he's expecting me to be there, but there are matters I hope to discuss with him in person, to put it simply. Housewarming party matters. With inviting Isabella out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Although the former has already made it clear he'll be busy this week, and, well, Ashton has been my first choice from the start. Even if he detests attending gatherings like this. It's company that counts. We can be miserable together.
Yes.
But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them, and it's very likely his answer will be a flat no. I'd rather not hear that. If by some miracle he agrees to it, he'll probably be sulking the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that. Still. Tough choice, but I have to pick one. Alright, let me save. So we said we're gonna go with them to dinner.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Luke liked that. Huh.
Of course. But we're only doing that for Kylie, not for him.
Yes, and for any potential funny things that might happen.
Yes, and for eventually meeting with Hannah.
Yes, that's true. In the end, it's my own fondness for Kylie that wins out, even though she gets possessed by the ghost lady.
Yeah, but it's not her fault.
True, maybe. Unless she's working with the ghost, I don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
Right? That would be scary.
Yeah.
Chances are I'll only have to endure his presence for an hour or so. If it lasts more than that, I can make up an excuse. A sudden call from a friend or things to work on. It doesn't seem so bad when I think of the pros and cons. At best, it'll be a quiet dinner. At worst, it'll be an awkward affair we're both eager to be rid of. I'm leaning more on the latter happening, hoping for the former, of course.
Okay, but only because Kylie asked.
Kylie's face instantly lights up. For the third time today, she tackles me into a hug before pulling away and dragging me by the hand towards the building's exit.
That's alright. I'm sure Tio doesn't mind. He let me pick where we're going to eat. Don't worry, it's just close.
Luke follows closely behind, and perhaps out of some desire to keep the dead air away, I can't resist throwing in a quip.
Keep your distance. You better not do anything funny, you hear?
I'm the one who should keep my distance. May I remind you who approached me first and what you did right after?
Yes, we gave you pain, which is what you deserve.
Oh, I remember it clearly, but perhaps it's you who needs a reminder. You seem to have never learned your lesson. Care we give it another try? Maybe this time it'll stick.
Maybe this time it'll stick. You think you're scary? I'll show you what's scary.
Luke, please.
You're not scaring anyone.
Right? To my surprise, his tone lacks the usual sardonic note in it, and briefly I pause to stare at him. He quickly shuts his mouth right after and walks ahead of us. All talk and no trousers like the usual, and for the better part of our walk, except for Kylie's excited chatter, we don't speak. All talk and no trousers. What?
I mean, it's like all bark and no bite.
I guess so, but I've never heard that. It's like, why are you saying he doesn't have pants? What?
Maybe something British?
I guess. Somehow, I have this strange feeling I'm already getting used to this kind of banter with him. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. And amidst this newfound friendship, dare I call it that, Ashton's message lays forgotten and abandoned in my pocket. It's fine, because Ash can just hang out with Isabella. Alright, achievement
Yes.
unlocked. Dinner date. By the way, did you enjoy your dinner?
Yes, I enjoy it. Oh, I might.
That's good. Of all the places nearest to the school, Kylie picks this one, and waiting for food to be served is as awkward as I've imagined it would be. Yeah, because that's where you met them and attacked him. Not the bad sort, though. The pleasant kind. Surprisingly, Luke's an okay bloke when he tries. When he tries. So long as you're willing to look past the tactless remarks, or we're not exchanging acerbic quips. It's clear he's making an effort for this to be as fun as possible for the 6-year-old by being chattier, even going as far as to laugh when Kylie's story calls for it. It's an interesting thing to hear from the man. More than once, I catch his frequent cheesed-off expression easing whenever he looks at the girl.
And your friend? Did you make up with her?
Yep. She said she just saw something she didn't like. She didn't accept the jellies, though.
Oh,
She told me to give it to you instead. She knows you like the red ones, too.
Very well. Hand it to me later. I'll bring some of them home. I think your Tia would love to have some.
What a terrible liar. He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? Once Kylie wanders to the nearby bookshelves, after having lost interest in the conversation, however, we both revert back to silence. On our own, we have little to talk about, aside from a few questions about the other here and there. At one point, it does veer on local politics and history. He's surprisingly versed with it that he can hold a decent conversation without throwing a jibe. Nothing too personal is ever mentioned so far, though. It's too early for those, and besides, I don't like him enough to speak of every minute detail of my life. Better keep it strictly between the silence and the casual repartee. This whole thing already looks and feels wrong on so many levels. I'm quite sure he feels the same. So, when another bout of silence hits us and becomes too much, I've taken to finding something else to occupy myself. Toying with my mobile, turning it from hand to hand, while we wait for our respective meals. But it'll be a complete lie if I say I'm not waiting for some intervention. Something to pull me away from this place. Someone. Are you sure you want to say someone? Because the ghost might show up.
Yeah.
Ashton's probably at Salemwell by this time, working on whatever business he has there. Maybe if I make up an excuse and leave now, I can still catch him?
Cut that out, it's distracting.
My hand stills, holding the gadget awkwardly between us, arrested mid-pass by his bored tone. Twin says that the ghost says, "I hear you wanted a distraction."
Oh no!
He's been quiet for a long minute now, after complaining about how appalling the tea they're serving here is. Before that, he has whined about how uncomfortable his chair is, and tasteless the decorations they have here.
What's wrong with the decorations? I like them. There's 2 bikes. What is it called? A wheel?
Yes.
Or a boat? And bookshelves? I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. Guess it's not fancy enough for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Previous to that, he has griped about how dull the place is, compared to the one he frequents on the upper-class side of the city. Well, I'm sorry for being a bunch of peasants, Your Majesty. Figures he'll lose patience soon, having already grumbled about almost everything his eyes can reach. It's just unfortunate he's turned to me now.
Why don't you just look somewhere else?
I can't. If I turn elsewhere, I might end up looking at the bobfuck right behind us.
What?
What?
Is that food? What?
Bobfuck. Do I even want to ask?
Okay, so it's not just us. I don't want to hear it.
And he turned a rather sickly shade of green.
Right? If it's coming out of his mouth, it can only be either rude or offensive. Regardless, he continues.
Everything looks good. But have you seen the face? True horror.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
What is wrong with you? You know, I frown about this in practice, but that mouth needs to be washed out with a particularly potent soap. Preferably by your own mum.
A shame she isn't here,
For whatever reason, that puts an end to that talk right away. I still don't understand what you're talking about, sir. Whose face? Because all these people here are faceless, so...
Maybe he can see the ghost somehow?
Oh, maybe. That might explain that. And we probably won't know until we play his chapter.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oof.
We have to wait a long time.
Yes. He returns to watching his godchild, who has found a particularly interesting picture book and is now poring over it while I turn back to my mobile. Still no message. Would it kill him to at least send a message? Check if I were home? Meanwhile, Luke's silence lasts all but 10 seconds.
What is it with the damn mobile? Are you on a curfew?
He's got...
None of your damn business, sir.
Right? Tell him! He's got the immature act down pat. I'll give him that. Seriously, how old is this guy?
Apparently not old enough.
Has he somehow been deprived of affection during childhood? Oh, definitely.
Me.
And what is it to you? I don't think it's any of your business what I do with it.
It is my business, all right? 1, I'm the one paying here. 2, I'm being forced to eat dinner in a place this stuffed and noisy. Lastly, it's been 10 minutes, the food isn't here, and I'm hungry. What you're doing with the mobile is annoying and distracting, when the least you could do is keep things entertaining while I suffer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's your problem? Shouldn't you be more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one.
You know she didn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
You move fast, Daisy. You could have informed me first, you know.
Oh my god, this guy.
Had I known, I would have taken you someplace nicer.
No.
No.
Certainly the kind with better food and plenty of good wine.
Why did I ever think this was a good idea? Did it ever occur to you how inappropriate this might look to everyone?
Why should I care? It's only inappropriate if you make it out to be.
I mean, it's not like everybody there knows he's married automatically.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're there.
There's them.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say it's not like she's actually there with that intention.
Yeah.
Relax. I won't do anything to make your boyfriend angry. He doesn't even need to know we dined out.
Oh my god, even he says that.
It'll be our dirty little secret.
Ugh.
He's not my boyfriend!
The words come out with more force than I've intended. By the time I realize my slip-up, his lips are already spread in a sneer. Ugh, you just gave him ammunition.
Yeah.
Heat slowly crawls up in my face.
Oh, so there is someone. You're so easy to read.
Briefly, his eyes search my face. I have no idea what he sees, nor do I care to know, but in the next second he barks out a laugh, displaying his amusement without reserve to everyone within earshot. In that moment, I know I've flipped a switch in him somewhere, and I've lost my chance to deny his assumptions. Do I even want to? Isn't that the reason why I've been so focused on my mobile? Waiting for another message from him? For a reason to dump this awkward meeting to go after him? Oh, that's so sad. She's like super clingy when it comes to Ash, and it's just really sad because it reminds me of how I've been in the past with a boy. I'm like, no.
Look how mottled you are. Now the nickname makes more sense. Shy Miss Pink and her cute little crush. The color suits you, by the way. It matches the hair.
It's not a crush!
Classic denial. But in reality, you want him to be yours, and your every move is made to make him notice you.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you don't want him to see you with another man in a non-professional capacity, because he might misinterpret it.
Oof.
The same thing goes for you, doesn't it? Bloody, yours is even worse. What about your wife? Aren't you concerned she might misinterpret this?
Daisy, just because we tied the knot doesn't mean we have to be joined at the hip at every single opportunity.
I mean, true, but you are a cheater.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous. Why else would you marry her if you don't want to be with her for the rest of your lives?
Because, Daisy, she also has other things she can do with her life and friends to spend time with.
You say that, but then you got all angry when she bonded with Zach. Hypocrite.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't like some of them, and I have a few of my own she utterly dislikes. But wifey doesn't have to know my every move. Nor do I hers. Do you know how boring that would be? To be with the same person for all hours of the day, losing sleep over the mere fact they're not with you? Or putting everything you have aside to please them, to have your whole world revolve around one person?
Aren't you just mistaking that for something else? Unlike you, there are other people here who don't share the same jaded outlook you have. Don't lump everyone together just because it didn't work out for you.
And you, my dear, are unexpectedly naive.
What's so naive about it? If you love each other, wouldn't you want to always see them, be with them, to have them focus solely on you? Maybe you haven't been loved enough.
Oh, it's that kind of thing for you, isn't it? The love is eternal, love is a strong emotion shite. A starry-eyed girl pining for a dashing Prince Charming? What's next? Romantic confessions of love? A grand wedding on the beach? Dozens of spawns running around in some picturesque home in the suburbs?
Wow.
How quaint. Are you also expecting it's going to be sunshine and rainbows after? A happily ever after? Please.
What? I never once said... And is all of that such a bad thing to hope for?
Oh.
Oh.
Woman, I've been married for 7 years, and I'm telling you, it's far from what you have in your pretty red head. Tell me, how long has this song and dance been going for you and your man? Maybe I am mistaken.
Oof. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Gonna call out the fact.
I have a bad feeling her answer would be too long.
Yeah, I mean, she's liked him since they were childhood friends, right?
Yeah.
Averting my eyes from him is all I managed to do. What does his mere 7 years have compared to the 17 I've had with Ash? Oof. Oof. 17. Yikes.
Yeah, it tells a lot.
It's laughable he thinks those two things are even comparable. Ash and I may have never moved past the boundaries of friendship, like what I'm hoping for years, but what we have isn't something anyone can scoff at. I've always been by his side, endured everything with him. I know him better than anyone. Ooh, no, Rebecca.
No.
No matter what this man, this complete stranger says, I know there will always be a place for me beside him. And yet...
Come on, Daisy, that shouldn't be too hard. 3, 5, 8, 10, 20.
Close.
Close.
His words easily seep into my heart like sharp daggers, gradually picking apart everything I've ever been sure of. Despite myself, the doubts resurface and my defenses crumble right in front of his eyes, or in front of my eyes. It's no wonder he sees through me, and as expected, he ridicules it. Laughs. Restrained, low and rumbling, a sharp sound striking the air around us amidst the murmur of people and the soft notes of the music playing over our heads. His shoulders shake, and when his mirth becomes too much even for him, he reaches up a hand and passes it over his face, as if to hold his glee close to him.
Bloody bollocks, this is just brilliant. Oh, mother, why do I always keep running into these things? This day couldn't get any better.
Wow.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna need a stiff drink after this.
He dissolves into another peal of laughter, but when it subsides, what he has for me are more words. Scathing, each of them. The urge to run from here has never been this strong.
Is everything you said how you plan to act, if that man of yours ever ends up with you? Cling to him? Put him on a bloody pedestal? Let him become the center of your universe? Although with how long this seems to be going on, I think you've already done so. Marriage will just be icing on the top. Like some sort of reward for you, isn't it? For being a good, patient, loyal little girl all this time. Never looking at another man.
Oof.
He must have been having a grand time with someone pining over him this long. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Maybe also a little surprised he hasn't suffocated from all your attention yet.
Laugh all about it if you want. It's not like you'll ever understand.
Luke falls silent. The ridicule in him is gone in an instant, and his eyes meet mine, sharp and imposing. A challenge, but I hold it against him with the same intensity, because if there's something I won't let his opinion trample on, it's this. What does he know? However, he's the first one who looks away, focusing his eyes back to where Kylie is, and for a moment I believe I've won. Ooh, wrong thing. Until he draws in a breath and turns back to me. The words he drops next, though hushed, hang heavily in the distance between us.
You're right. I won't. But I do know not to mistake love for obsession, woman. They are not the same thing.
Ooh. And for her, it's obsession, not love.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see the way she acts with whenever him and Isabella are together, and she's very jealous of that, clearly.
Yeah.
It rattles. Out of everything he said tonight, this is the one thing that twinges my heart. Maybe it's in the manner he delivers it, the lack of conceit. Why did I say concrete? The lack of conceit in his posture, or an underlying insult in the tone he takes. Oh, we're at an hour since I started the stream, so I will let you take over from here, Sign.
Okay. The remark is not meant to cut, merely to express a simple truth. This time, it's him who holds the gaze against mine. Another unspoken challenge, and I realized that if this happened minutes before, I'd already have an equally serene retort at the tip of my tongue. There is none. But the anger is there, ringing at my sides, prodding at the uncertainties I've long kept. Isn't it enough? We have the long years we've been together. We have the memories. Whenever he needs me, until other people came in between us, I've always been the one there. That dedication and loyalty should mean something, shouldn't it? I've always been sure of it. That one day he'll see it for what it is. No. In spite of that, in this minute, under this man's scrutiny, my own heart wavers. Now I struggle to find the word. Oh boy, what do we have? I don't need to answer that. What right do you have?
I really don't know.
Both answers are bad.
Yeah, maybe the I don't need to answer that, like just ignore it?
Yeah. I think it skipped on something. However, those are for me to ponder on. This ours doesn't need to hear them, and neither is he entitled to them just because he dishes out some profound sounding life wisdom no one asked for. So I look away, hoping my own silence would be enough for an answer for him. And it is, for a moment. Up until warm, furious tears sprinkled behind my eyes, stinging, begging for release, along with every other frustration this dumb talk has built up in me.
Aww.
Oh.
I feel bad for her, but this is something that needed to happen. I think she needed a reality check.
Mm-hmm. All because of this man. I hate him. I hate the fact that he has to be the one to see me in this sorry state. I'm already expecting another barb from him when his expression shifts. Except he panics. In a span of 3 seconds, his expression changes from indifferent to concern.
Oh my god. What's happening? They're becoming friends? What is this?
Maybe, I mean, the relationship got higher.
I mean, her relationship with him is now officially higher than everybody else. That's crazy.
Yeah, can we reach the max?
I mean, if it reaches the max, I wonder what would happen. Would they just become really good friends and maybe he'll be a nicer person now?
Maybe, I hope so.
Interesting.
To utter panic. It would probably have been funny if I weren't so irked by the sight of this. What? Kid bastard?
I'm guessing that's a British slang term. I don't know.
Oh god, but that's a weird word. Hey,
are you crying? Are you going to cry?
No.
No, I'm not crying.
Right now, woman.
There are ninjas cutting up onions.
Will you shut up?
He climbs up almost before I could finish. Whether this is due to the sudden force in my voice or how I look, I pretend not to think of it. He seems like a deer caught in the headlights. The way he's making himself smaller in his seat. But I'm still pissed. I'm tired, and if I can punch him, I can at least scream at him.
You're an annoying bag of dick, you know that?
Oh my god.
If I hear another word from you, I'm sewing that bloody mouth shut myself!
It does do the trick.
Yikes.
Not to the effect I hope, but the moment I snap at him, the sting at the back of my eyes melts away, and a strange calm overcomes me. Hi, Coco!
Hello, Coco dear. How are you today? How has it gone so far? We have been shocked because, unfortunately, Rebecca's getting some harsh truths from Luke, of all people.
A fragile thing when found in the middle of a busy coffee shop.
I mean, it's weird, Coco. Like, I'm dying to see in your playthrough if you guys ended up on this path or you guys chose for her to go wait for Ashton. Because I'm like, clearly, you know, she's still thirsty for Ashton. But I think for her own well-being, it's probably better if Luke helps her accept reality that Ashton doesn't feel that way about her. Which is sad.
Nevertheless, it's appreciated considering it doesn't last. Immediately broken by the very person that put me in this state with a few awkward pats to my shoulder. Done twice. Thrice. And another. Dang.
Luke, stop.
Until my patience runs out again, I'm pulling out the book from my bag, raising it threateningly over his head. He'll surely dent his skull if it slams down at this height.
Like you said, she uses book foo.
Yep. Part of me wants to see that, but I restrain myself. He has the good sense to recoil, though. Shortly, he shrinks back to his seat and waves his hand in front of him in a gesture of surrender.
What's that book, woman? I already warned you about your little threats. You don't want to see my brand of angry.
You won't like me when I'm angry. What is he, the Hulk?
This isn't it. I wanted to make a reference, but my words wouldn't come out of my mouth right.
That's alright.
Then keep your hands to yourself!
Wait, you said you think we did? So you think you guys did choose this path with Rebecca and Luke? Yeah, it is taking a long time for their food to come.
Alright, that's it. People these days, I swear you treat them nicely and this is where it gets me.
You're the last person I'd ever want to comfort me, even if we're the only two remaining people on Earth. Don't flatter yourself.
Okay, have it your way, Daisy.
And stop calling me Daisy! I have a name, you know!
I think you haven't actually told him that until now, though.
Yeah. He mutters something inaudible under his breath, although afterwards he doesn't say anything further. For the next minute, he simply contents himself with making a mess out of the paper napkin.
He's so childish. Maybe he has like ADD or something.
folding them into clean shapes without any clear intent, before crumpling them in his hand when he loses interest and dumping them in a small pile in front of him. What the heck? A waiter serves our meal soon enough, and Kylie makes her way back to our table.
Finally.
Yeah. But before I can take a single bite, he mutters something. The words spoken in the same tone he's used since morning, all under his breath, whenever the honest part of him would show. Despite my rather confusing opinion of the man, I stopped short of shoving food in my mouth to look at him. Hallelujah, yes! His eyes are on his food as he speaks, busying himself with cutting a portion of meat on his plate. But what comes out of him only rings true against my ears about the dean of the coffee house.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you.
Aha! He does know her name.
Huh?
Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
He spears a piece of his food, pops it into his mouth, and that's it. One whole day with this man, and I still can't figure what his deal is. But for what's worth as well, I don't think he's an entirely bad guy.
He has his decent side, but it's buried under a thick layer of douchiness.
Yeah. Now the trope is he a jerk or he's a jerk with a golden heart somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
The rest of our meal slips by in silence afterward. Aside from Kylie's occasional chatter, the whole dinner goes by without another word exchanged between the two of us. Somehow, we managed to make it through the whole thing without triggering another tension-riddled conversation. How long this chapter is?
Right? It's pretty long, I think.
Oh god. A good thing, perhaps. One, because Kyle is sitting in front of us, and two, I probably won't be able to hold a proper conversation with my mind heavy with thoughts. We depart from the coffee house just as the evening crowd starts to thin out. The same wordless silence fills our short walk back to the school. Except for when Rook gestures at a nearby flower shop and enters it without waiting for Kylie and I. He emerges minutes after, carrying a bouquet of daffodils, with the same sullen expression back on his face.
Oh my gosh, is that for Rebecca?
Maybe.
Or maybe for Hana. You know... Actually, no, you said you kind of don't know flower language, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I could have sworn that yellow flowers mean friendship, but I'm not sure about daffodils.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, yellow is friendship, but I'm not sure about daffodils. Unlike the previous ones, he tucks this one away almost as soon as he looks up at us, the moment he's not willing to share.
Then that must be for Hana.
At my confusion, he merely answers with a shrug and continues walking.
For someone important.
I accept it for what it is, if only because he doesn't owe me an explanation. He does leave more questions about him, Each one as baffling as the previous ones. Do you want me to tell you the meaning, please?
Oh, yes, please do.
Those are the last words spoken this evening before we head our own ways.
Oh,
I need to read.
Coco
What?
says she can't wait to see our reaction to Luke's chapter. Oh no.
Oh no. I need to read the book about flower language. I don't know why I'm not. Up until I arrive home, I still can't understand him. The flower represents a rebirth and new beginnings.
Oh, interesting.
Here, however, a whole different set of questions await me. And much like everything today, it comes with the little things. A lone note greets me up reaching my unit's door. Its edges flutter lightly against the faint, warm breeze passing through the small complex. My hand stops short of twisting the knob as I stare at it, though I don't make any moves to take it. Ashen's neat script lines its surface.
Says, dropped by earlier. You weren't around. Any ideas where Scaredy Cat is? I couldn't contact her. Inspector Abigail has a few questions. LPD stuff. Something about her dead coworkers. Anyway, let me know how the two of you have been doing. I'll see you later. Ash.
The message he left, short and straight to the point, but not without the underlying hint of friendship.
That's cute. He drew a little winky face at the bottom.
Yeah, it's adorable. He is looking for Isabella, apparently. Something about LPD's investigation of her coworker's death, but ends his formal tone by checking on me. Us. Any other day, the formal part of this message will likely prod at the piercing envy I've been holding, while the latter will probably send my heart aflutter. Little things from him that I want to mean something more. Yet this time only guilt fills me and my eyes briefly shift towards Isabella's empty unit. Luke's words repeat inside my head as I do so.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you.
No, don't start thinking about Luke.
Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
Have I always been like this?
This selfish? In truth, I've intended to call Ash after that dinner, if I didn't catch him here. Invite him to that party like I've planned. There's time and he's still probably awake at around this hour.
Oh, okay. It's just showing that she went to dinner with them. That's actually a really cute image.
Yeah. But my hands won't move. And perhaps it is for the better. Until I've had the time to think this through, it'd be best if I distance myself from those I've been clinging tightly to. Find a different perspective and see things for what they are. With a soft sigh, I reach for the note and crumple it under my hand. The knob twists open with much ease when I enter this time. Maybe after some introspection, it'll be easier. For tomorrow, I have that woman and the mansion to worry about. And it's tomorrow. The night wears on without further incidents, despite the great number of thoughts swimming inside my head. So no ghost? Oh,
Disappointed, huh?
yeah. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. This one's uneasy, tight with anticipation, like a string stretched thin, eagerly waiting for the proper time to snap. Granted, it doesn't make my day any less pleasant, but the edge is there. And as expected, the second I step out of my flat, it comes apart, broken by the voices of two squabbling adults echoing from a floor below. The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame.
What the hell were you thinking?
Oh boy. That's probably Ash and Isabella fighting.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Not a few seconds later, they both ascend the stairs, with Ashton pulling Isabella by her wrist. She struggles, as she should, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means having to draw blood, as she attempts to pry his hand off with her other one, or using unnecessary force to push herself away. Neither which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means having to hurt him physically. She has the good sense to realize that, at last. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ash's temper with her own. So, on they go, none the wiser to my presence.
Do you have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
I know. Every single person in Luxburg knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason. We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Oof.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will.
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it.
Ash, no.
Oh,
It was funny the first time, not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
All right, you two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both of their heads snap up, almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces. But this is a necessary interruption.
Honestly, if we get to choose between who we're siding with, we're definitely going to side with Isabella.
Yeah.
Because Ash is being closed-minded.
Mm-hmm. What can they do? People still in their units have already taken interest on the commotion, with some taking a peek behind the curtains, while others are bold enough to creak open their doors, if only slightly. If they don't keep it down, pretty soon landlady will show up. Getting a reprimand from her is the last thing I want to happen. First thing on a Friday morning. Even if this is hardly my fault.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
Don't worry, we're done here.
No, we aren't! Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them, and
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
That last big strikes a chord, proud strongly at a memory. At that vicious smile already etched deeply inside my mind. The image appears clear enough that at the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question.
What do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca! It's not.
It's nothing. If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we?
And that's the question. I mean, I brought it up to Coco yesterday. It's like, why is the ghost killing people who did not read the letter? But she hasn't killed them. All she's done is, like, terrify them and, like, you know, stalk them, creep them out, but she hasn't killed them.
But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse. There's a murderer on the loose, and your coworkers happen to be the victims. Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time. And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
I wasn't chasing after.
Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute? What's this about your coworkers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
Sure, in a heartbeat, I'll agree with Ashton.
That's true. Like, this whole conversation might be completely different if we had let somebody else die, like Zach.
That's how it all has always been, besides having a very good point. Really, they're the very same ones he'll make every time I ask too many questions. Oh. But the fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been sensing these past few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe on our own. Something odd has been happening around me, and that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. But however I respond to the question in their faces, only one of them will be pleased with it.
Aha! Alright, this is what we said.
Seen her.
Yep. It's time.
Yes. Ash and oh.
Uh-huh. I don't care, Ash.
Yay, redemption for when Isabella was really, really sad.
Yes.
Yeah, no one believed her. Ashen in particular won't be too happy to hear it. Imagining the look his face doesn't take too much effort.
Oh, typo.
Well,
The look on his face.
yeah.
So I'm wondering, because Ashton's chapter is after this. Has Ash been the only one so far who hasn't seen the ghost at all?
Yeah, I think so. And look. But then again, we don't know if he see it like from the beginning or not.
Yeah. Unless Ash has seen her and he's just been in denial? I don't know.
Maybe that's a possibility as well. His entire posture shifts the moment my reluctance shows. Shoulders tensing, brows furrowing, eyes gaining a sharp edge. He is already bracing himself from the disappointment. And it will be a disappointment. Not in a million years did I ever believe I'll be saying this either.
I might have seen her. The woman Belle's been telling us about. The one she said she saw in the attic.
Both of them stare at me like I've grown an extra head, and for a few moments, Ashen looks as if he's about to have a fit.
Oh, you were gonna say that Ash is on a lucky streak? Either that or the ghost has the hots for him. I mean, it is Ash.
Damn, Ash even gets the ghost ladies.
Right? Well, he's hot. What you know? Him and his rapping skills.
Yep. A pause rests at his heels after. A silence thick enough one can almost hear a pin drop.
You're kidding, right?
Do I look like I'm joking?
Really, Becca? Not funny.
Ash, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about this? It's been this way since the film fest. The past few days have been really odd since we read that letter.
But Coco, his rapping's so good.
Or maybe you're all just feeling under the weather.
Oh, come on, Ash.
I'm not sick. Don't you think I'd know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat. Give me a break.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two.
Isabella's voice cuts sharply through the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault. This is all my fault. I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
She breathes in, deep, steady, and in that moment something falls behind her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this. I promise.
A quiet resolve. The same one I saw in her that night from three days ago. But this time it burns brighter. Even Ashen waver at its side. When she looks him straight in the eyes, gaze unflinching. Gradually, his grip on her wrist loosens.
Belle, there's nothing to fix. The problem is...
Just this once, Ash.
Her voice, though small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise dies around us, a hush descending as if the world is waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
She lays a hand atop his.
Oh, is this a new song?
I think so. Yeah, this is new. Gentle. Pleading.
Yes, use your cute little baby eyes at him.
Cat eyes. Almost intimate, if one does not consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please.
Ashen will never tell a soul, will never admit it even to himself, but it is in that short second that his own resolve breaks.
Oh, poor Rebecca. She has to see their love right in front of her. It's such a cute, like, pure, innocent love, too.
The moment the hard edge in his eyes softened, and he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hand fall limply to his side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small lackluster smile. Only after the last of her footsteps fade away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales, before reaching up to pinch the bridge of his nose in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Did you really have to tell her that?
What do you want to hear from me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas in her head. None of it is helping. Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
He is already poised to leave when my own instinct takes over. I reach for him, gripping his elbow with the same unyielding grip, the action prompted by voices whispering at the back of my mind. He's already made it clear he's not going to believe me, but he deserves a word of caution. Who knows where all of this will take us? How all of this will end? He shouldn't be caught off guard, beliefs notwithstanding.
Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying. And you know me. I'm less inclined to believe in those things as you do. But I've seen something. There's something strange going on here. You don't have to buy it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. But please, try to hear her out. It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Talk to her, okay?
So Coco says that she has trouble getting into Ashton Isabella because she thinks he infantilizes... can't pronounce that for some reason. Her too much, like that comment right there, you're all putting ideas into her head as if she's a blank slate easily influenced. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a little frustrating. I think it's a habit of one of those, like, he has that hero complex, right? That he feels like he has to protect her, like she's a damsel in distress and she's helpless and innocent. But I think that's just something we see in a lot of media, unfortunately. And you're right that honestly, Isabella and Zach would be a cute pairing.
As if she trusts me enough for that.
Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this, instead of me, already say a lot?
A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken, sometimes too big, too fragile to last. He falls silent for a long moment as he turns it over in his mind. In the end, all he manages to offer is a small nod before he departs, and a promise to, at least, listen to her, without the teasing or the jibes. A favor for me and the least he could do for her. This is as much as I can do for him, as well until I've understood what's happening myself. Tonight, hopefully, where this all started will provide the answers I'm looking for.
Ah, okay, just showing them fighting. Ah, so this all happened on the same day that Marianne got trapped in the cell. Okay. I don't know.
Except
Should
the
we continue here, or do you want to leave that for next stream?
Wait, what was the first part of the question?
Oh, I was asking, do you think we should continue a little bit longer, or do you want to just leave this segment for the next stream?
I want to continue.
Okay.
Except the whole thing's off to a bad start. And all of a sudden, whatever Isabella claims dwelling in this mansion becomes the least of my concerns. Of all the cabins in Luxembourg, I have to chance upon the superstitious one. They are not as bad as finding out your car starter refuses to crank on, when it was still working this morning, yes. But it's equally as frustrating when you're forced to walk the rest of the way.
Dang. That sucks.
For her. All because the driver got... Isabella and him will get along so well. I do get his reasons. After all, I had my fair taste of the bizarre lately. All of which might have been brought upon by the letter Isabella found here. But you think he'd at least be charitable enough to take me a little closer to the house itself, not at a distance 15 minutes away from it by foot.
Dang, 15 minutes? That's a long way.
Yeah. At least make it 10 or 5, but not 15.
Right?
That's... At least he didn't make it like 20 or more. Good thing I'm not wearing anything too formal or constricting. Otherwise, that short walk would likely put me in a bad mood, long before I have to suffer in a room full of strangers tonight. Although it soon proves to be a problem the second the driveway comes to view and I near the entrance. Severely underdressed is a total understatement to describe how I look. Cars worth more than my own apartment and childhood home combined line the mansion's front yard. Men and women decked out in the best also flock near the entrance. Dang. Most are eager for the festivities to start, while some are simply idling about, enjoying the warm afternoon sun before it sets. But once the woman standing at the front porch speaks, their undivided attention immediately shifts to her. Hey, Hannah!
Long time no see.
Presumably Miss Wright, from the confident manner she holds herself among present company. This despite keeping a far simpler appearance than the rest of her own guests, or not having her husband beside her. A trait worthy of utmost admiration at best. At worst, she is the envy of every woman, the subject of every gossip in Luxembourg.
Welcome, welcome everyone.
And Mom said we could have been good friends. I can't even picture myself mingling with the kind of guests she has. Though I admit she does seem familiar, now that I've seen her this close. Memories of sitting in a vanity, not mine, being dressed in clothes too fancy for my taste. They played briefly in my mind until her cheerful tone raises above the buzz of her enraptured audience again.
Please make yourselves at home.
I wish I can share her enthusiasm, really.
So all these people entering the house are totally gonna be on the ghosts list, right? She's gonna go after all of them now.
Maybe.
That would mean she's like super busy and doesn't have time for us, right?
Yeah, maybe. But being surrounded by all this extravagance, for the lack of a better term, merely makes me dread how the rest of the night might go. I shouldn't have let Luke's word affect me like that. I should just gone ahead and asked Ashton like I've planned. If he were here, then I won't have to.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Isn't that Ash?
The rest of the thought dies in my mind at once. A moment of astonishment overcomes me before confusion sets in seconds later. It takes another for my body to catch up. I think it was. Or maybe it was just something random, I don't know. Once it does, when I finally turn to see it for myself, it's his familiar mop of hair that catches my eye first. Mop of hair.
Yep, there he is.
And there he is, almost an arm's reach, if it isn't for the guest standing between us. Ashton Frey, standing in the Amangard Mansion's driveway, with an air too lackadaisical for someone who absolutely abhors parties of any form.
He's not dressed exactly appropriate either.
Yeah. Or has any business here, as far as I know. The picture it forms is too bizarre for me, that my mouth speaks out ahead of any coherent thought.
Ashton?
He swivels on his heel with an equally puzzled face.
Why does it look like he's like, oh shoot, I got caught?
An odd expression flashes momentarily across his once he sees me, though he blinks it away before I can figure out what it is exactly.
Becca, what are you doing here?
I was invited.
Really? I had no idea you were friends with the host.
Well, it's my parents, actually. But that's beside the point. What are you doing here? You hate parties.
I still do. I'm just here on behalf of a friend.
And that in itself is weird coming from him.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help that he isn't even making an effort to spare a glance my way when he answers. Instead, they're focused at some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us until a small frown forms in his face.
That's rare. Do you have someone with you then?
Nope, just me. I won't be staying long.
Oh, well, if that's the case, maybe you and I can...
Chief?
Ashton, what's...
Unexpectedly, he places a hand on my shoulder, stopping me mid-sentence. He still has the distracted look on him, except this time, his eyes are sharper, as if he has found what or who he's been searching for among the throng of partygoers earlier.
Sorry, Becca. I need to... There's something I need to check for a bit. I'll talk to you later. Do you have a ride home?
No, I had to take a cab here. My car wouldn't start this afternoon. But what about...
I told you to get that old thing checked before, didn't I? You can head back with me after this.
Well, that's good at least.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I gotta go. See ya. Be careful, okay?
I met a smile he hastily throws my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? But before I can ask, already he has turned his back from me and is walking away, without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up to him, if only to know what warranted this sudden departure and his odd warning at the end.
Hey, be careful! About what
Only for my attempts to be interrupted by a muffled ringing from my pocket. Mom's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
The conversation itself doesn't last long. Just a simple hello, a reminder to enjoy the party, and to send the regards to the old student. But when the call ends and I get to look up, Ashen's already nowhere in sight.
Oh, Rebecca, just let him go.
With a sigh and admittedly a little disappointment, I tuck my mobile back into my pocket and head inside. Even with familiar company, however coincidental this meeting is, this is somehow shaping up to a terrible evening. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
The party hits full swing an hour later. With the host's opening remarks given, still no sign of her husband, the poor woman, and the guests promptly fed, the band shifts the melody to a livelier tone. Where is Luke, by the way?
Haven't seen him, but I'm sure he'll make his grand entrance soon.
Soon laughter and the rhythmic tapping of shoes fill the room, all in accordance to the lifting strains of music. It seems fun, I admit. Fascinating at certain moments. The flurry of dancers making the music their own, almost with no care in the world. If I weren't so indisposed, I have joined the crowd for a song or two. There isn't a lack of invitations anyway. Plenty of them, in fact, with some asking more than once. It's only my stubborn refusal that prevents me from joining them. And I can. A single nod is all it takes, and the evening would be far enjoyable for me. But pride and my own silly hopes, the thought of being seen with one of them by him curbs that, as much as I hate to admit it.
Oh, that's so sad. Rebecca, no.
Because doing so also means outright acknowledging the douche's claims. That he has to be the one to tell me that still sends my blood boiling. I would prefer someone more agreeable, less of an arse. It's a hard truth to swallow, especially when the very person at the center of it makes denial difficult. Can't even spare me a minute of his attention, or a single glance at me the whole evening. Hell, Zachary might have spoken more words to me.
Aw,
Hey, Zach!
Our
We
cinnamon
missed you.
roll.
Yes. The big guy's busy covering the event. But at least he manages to slip in a conversation or two between takes. Small wave of his hand when he passes by.
Aw,
Aww.
so sweet.
What's action's excuse? Yeah, it's been a while since we saw happy Zachary.
Yeah.
He's been flitting in and out of sight the whole time. One moment he's hanging around a small group, in another he's hovering around the stream bank.
I feel like he's there for work then.
Mm-hmm.
Because he mentioned his chief, so I think he's there to investigate something.
Yeah. Just a second ago, he's wolfing down some deviled eggs by the buffet table, a glass of wine in hand.
Well, at least he's eating.
Mm-hmm. The next thing I know, he's gone. If I didn't know any better, I'll say he doesn't want to be with any of his friends. He's Zachary best character.
Yes.
Is it because his boss is here? What's the big deal about that? It has never bothered him before.
I swear, the next person who asks, I'm dancing the night away with. Ashton can go fuck himself.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Oh, Hana.
Oh my.
Yes, go dance with her. Make your men jealous.
Yes. Her voice almost makes me jump. Too focused on the gobshite wandering around the ballroom, and my own annoyance to notice. If she's heard any of the profanities I've mumbled, or she's taken notice of my discomfiture, she makes no comment on it, merely greeting me with a smile. Then I turn my attention to her. Miss Hannah Wright gives out a whole different air when she's not speaking to an audience. Homely, a bit too friendly for my liking. But I guess that comes from being raised in such an environment and having to deal with pompous, naughty people. Though I suppose naughty has really changed from years ago. I remember her carrying herself in the same manner during that one and only. Does she remember any of it? I won't be surprised she doesn't. It has taken me a while myself. She's probably met a lot of people like little Becky throughout the years. I've already forgotten about me or my parents. People like her thrive on connections after all. Nevertheless, I return her smile, poor and stiff as it may be.
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up. Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Ah.
It takes me a while to realize who she's talking about. Until Ashen was by again, in closer proximity than any of the times he has done so far this evening. Still without a look of acknowledgement or way though, even if Miss Wright speaks loud enough to catch the attention of anyone within earshot.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers.
Dang, how observant have you been, Hana?
If I
Very.
wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
Oh my god. This isn't the first time someone has made that assumption. Yeah, first Kylie, then Luke, now her.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every student I have in the past did. My coworker, most often than not, assume he is. A few of my neighbors also think we're an item. Not that Ashton has ever reached to those. he's been quite indifferent about it, in fact. Still, the heat of a blush creeps up my cheeks. A denial already, despite wanting it to happen so badly myself.
Yeah, I think you're right, Twin. This image looks familiar
Yeah.
from Hana's chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely the ghostie is gonna make a little entrance soon.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I don't know. Because Hana saw her doesn't mean that Rebecca did.
Yeah. And weren't they sitting? I think I remember a sofa or couch.
The couch one was Marianne when she saw the ghost or on the TV or something. I don't know, something like that.
Or no, or not a sofa, but I think they were sitting somewhere.
I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's so long, but I agree. This one seems familiar.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed.
Oh, Rebecca.
Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Such a tsundere. I do my best to summon a straight face, but before her good cheer, it easily falters.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Just don't go murdering him on my property.
You tell that to the ghost.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
It's infectious in a way. Not sooner, I find myself enjoying our chat more than I've imagined myself to. Although her attention briefly wavers at one point, she remains a good companion.
See, Rebecca, you could be friends with Hana.
Even more once I mention who my parents are. Her face quickly lights up, and fondness graces her face, despite the meeting from several years ago being a short one. But of course, there are some things we really can't avoid talking about.
Such as her husband?
Yeah. After all, it's one of the few things I remember her asking me the moment she spotted little Becky in the room. Do you have a boyfriend? In retrospect, nothing to talk about as children, when there are loads where we could start with.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
All these years later, it's the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
I believe I still have the clothes she gave me. Chosen. Also, I could impress him. And even back then, Ashton has always been denser than a rock, and I wanted to get him to notice backfired spectacularly. Sure, he's keen, he's a detective for heaven's sake, but feelings, more often than not, escapes him.
What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
Oh, Hana.
Which makes this whole talk all the more embarrassing. And the more names she lists, the more my discomfort grows, until my smile turns into a grimace. What will she think of me? Here she is, married to a man she most probably lost at that. While I'm still stuck in the same place, yearning for the same person. Well, at least you have a person to yearn for. I don't.
Aw.
Ashton! Ash!
Oh god.
Oh God, she
That
remembered.
man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
Oof.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
He says that, but for a short moment, a hint of pity flickers in her eye. I take that as a chance to change the subject before anything more can be said over the matter. I haven't even figured out how I should feel about the things Luke told me. Now I'm getting dragged into a similar discussion.
So, this is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Though, to be frank, I doubt she'll be so willing to pass this up. The topic has already captured her attention.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you
Yep.
worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right?
Aw.
Oh,
You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
hypocrisy, that's what it is. How dare I preach about something when it's exactly what I've been doing?
Yeah, I was kind of just thinking the same. I was like, what are you talking about? Fight for it. You haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm. And then I go and act as if I'm entitled to any of it. That by virtue of us growing up together, he must return whatever I feel for him. That he is not allowed to look at another, because I'm the one who has stayed by his side the longest. When in the first place, Ashton has always been his own person. This is something I cannot force on him. I can only hold on to this. Take care of it. Until the time comes, I can confess it to him.
No, don't confess. Just let it go.
Yeah. Great if he reciprocates. But if he can? If he won't? Selfish. I've been too selfish. How laughable the looks will still strike true up until now.
But what do I know?
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about.
At one point, maybe I will easily agree to that. However, the past weeks have also seen changes in the way I view things. As nice as these things sound, it turns out whatever I previously know may not even be true for other people. Or for my... It is sobering and almost funny how things I might have said with much certainty before now has doubts muddying each of them. But there will be time to more about this later, because when a hush suddenly descends in the room, a whole different issue rears.
Oh, here
he
he
look-
comes.
especially when Luke, effing Luke, strides into the now quiet ballroom, fashionably late and oozing with the same pompous mien he always carries about around with him.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Before long, Hannah leaves my side to join him, and it doesn't take a genius to piece it all together.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen. If you would excuse my presumptuousness.
Ugh. He's so full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
His attitude, the manner he carries himself around people, his unfamiliarity with that part of the city. Of effing course. I should have known. Although I'm partly at fault here, tabloids and the gossip columns have never been really my thing. I should also expected that whatever Luke effing right is, some sort of drama would follow. He seems the kind of person who revels in it. Figures will find him on his own, even when he's not asking for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember this.
You my baby daddy.
It happens amidst a round of applause and hoots. The people lagging behind the crowd they've gathered does not catch on until the cheers turn into several scandalized gasps.
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Oof.
Oof. And
God
she's
damn
drunk.
it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me.
Oof.
I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
Oof.
Oof.
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
You're the one who can't.
Yeah,
Being drunk while you're pregnant? You're horrible.
yeah. The commotion doesn't go further, despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, taking her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife too. As if this whole thing can't get any more effed up than it already is. What a mess! But the damage has been done, and beyond the repercussion this will bring, I'm more worried about Hannah. Maybe Luke too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and it is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him. No matter how questionable that is now. After all, no anger is worse than that of a scorned woman. And Hannah, all as refined and well-mannered she is in front of the guests, I'm not sure if she'll be all too willing to tolerate this. Her party, her home, her husband, and a woman has just dared to walk over it. I like how wild this situation was going. I was making plans to go to main event with my father and brother.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoy.
Enjoy the party! Yet, when I glance at her, there's only defeat, a worried slump on her shoulders, and a certain depth to her breathing. Like the fight has already been drained out of her long ago.
Poor Hana.
I don't know since when this has been going on. I don't know either of them well to judge for myself. I'm simply an outsider who happens to have some kind of connection with both of them. But the air of a person who wishes for respite, it's all too easy to see it in her, as she quietly watches the commotion carry on around her. In a moment, before I can think it through, I'm pulling her to the side and waving Zachary over to her.
Becca, this is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
Ugh.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hana. Did I not?
Yeah, you did.
Admittedly, this air of familiarity between them catches me off guard. I won't put it past Hana. Her standing in society compels her to keep appearances. The be nice to everyone sort of thing.
Oh, but her and Zach are very well acquainted.
While Zachary's growing client base sometimes calls for rubbing elbows with the rich and famous. Although, from the way it appears, this one seems to go beyond maintaining a facade or work. I wonder how this friendship came to be. I'd ask, but we're starting to attract some curious eyes. Most of them are probably searching for more gossip, something to add fuel to the fire. Thankfully, there's no need to explain it to Zachary. He's aware of the situation all too well.
So, this is what you called me for? We gonna get Hana out of here?
That'd be great.
Soon, he's leading the three of us out of the ballroom. Anyone who dares speak or approach on our way out, I shut down with a sharp glare. In a few steps, we're out, away from the commotion and the suffocating tension.
I just have to say, after all of that, why didn't Luke immediately go to his wife and be like, let's talk privately or something, you know? Find it weird, unless he's too busy arguing with the other woman privately, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't stay alone with them though. Even if I want to stand still somewhere in the crowd, I've got to go back for him at least.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Seriously. That makes no sense, but whatever. Let Hana and Zach have their alone time.
He was probably afraid that he was gonna get his ass beat by another woman.
I guess so.
No matter how much the idea of that alone sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hana?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Besides, Zachary can handle this without another person helping out. For some reason, I've got this strange impression I might be intruding on something if I elect to remain. Better to entrust this with someone she's comfortable with. And though it might be a little inappropriate considering what has transpired, a smile warms its way to my lips as I leave. Good on them, I suppose.
She ships it.
chatter has exploded throughout the whole ballroom once I returned. Worried murmurs, clicking of tongues, and appropriate gossip flitted through the thick tension in the room. Most of them haven't even left the premises and they're already talking about it.
I mean, I would have assumed, okay, party's over, all of you get out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow will be on the news for sure, in every local broadsheet and tabloid in Luxembourg. No wonder it looks knee-deep into damage control. With the scandalous woman gone, he has returned his attention on the media covering the event.
Wow, okay, so that's what he's doing instead of talking to his wife?
Maybe he'll do it later, I don't know. Though so far, he isn't faring well in the cleanup department.
Now, people, we all know the drill. I'm sure you're all itching to get a start on those articles.
Good thing Zachary isn't here. If I recall correctly in Hannah's chapter, she told him they would talk tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. I forgot about it too. I can imagine a man of his temperament dealing with someone like him.
But if I read one word, see one picture about this come morning, even a single shot of the bloody wine glass the harlot held, you will all lose more than your jobs.
Huh.
They have to keep appearances. Yep.
Yeah.
Luke's diatribe goes on for another few minutes, after which he excuses himself out of the area. There's a brief lull, a reluctant pause before the place comes astir again, but shortly the buzz returns. Dancers have once again taken to the floor and their guests' excited talk begins anew.
Wow, they just were like, okay, let's keep on partying.
But I couldn't care less about any of this now. Simply standing in the middle of it already gives me a headache. When the shock has faded, I just feel bone tired. I've accomplished nothing of what I've come here for. Apparently, Ocean disappeared sometime during the commotion.
Of course he has.
I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. Can he at least trust his own friends for that?
And didn't he offer to give her a ride home? Dang it, Ash.
Yeah.
You don't have to hide it from me.
It's the last straw. No longer in the mood, I grab my bag and head out, more than ready to end the disastrous night as early as possible. As it turns out, the night isn't done with me yet.
But we're done with this stream.
Yay! My throat is going to die out.
Yeah, it was a long one. We kept going for a while, so... no ghost today. Yay!
Yay! At least we didn't encounter a ghost.
Yeah, I really was expecting her, but you know what? It's fine. I'm totally fine with not seeing her. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and for coming out, and thank you, Sign, for joining me.
You're very welcome.
So we'll see you guys next weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.